Trust me, you need to stop trying to write great songs. You need to write loads more bad songs. Now, I know that's entirely counterintuitive, but let me explain why this matters. Every bad song that you write is training ground, fundamentally, to facilitate the understanding and the skills and the tool set of how to write great songs. There's quite a classic, I guess, adage, which is fail faster. If you fail faster, fail quicker, fail more, then you learn so much in a short amount of time, which allows you to develop a lot quicker, a lot further, and I guess increase the speed at which you can grow and develop. Very important in artist development, of course. So, just write, and don't be too judgmental and worrisome if it turns out that it's a bad song. Every single one is improving you every single time if you have the right mindset, which is you want that. Don't fight that. And of course, creative growth, well, that only comes through volume and practice. Write more, create more, and you'll learn to develop that and grow that creativity, I guess, arc within you. And I think it's fair to say that creative growth really only kind of comes with speed and aplomb when you are doing it more. So that's volume, and by doing it more means you're practicing more. And it's also like confidence. Confidence is a skill, and competence leads to more confidence. And competence, well, you get more competent at something the more you do it. So that kind of cycle feeds the confidence, which again, with the kind of the process and the understanding of all the bad songs you've written, allowing you to know how to more likely write a good or great song. Well, the confidence and that capability, well, they start forming some real magic and really start motoring and powering your growth and development. Now, there's often some pushback when we say bad songs, because as we know, music is subjective. Of course it is. But this is more speaking to you as the artist. So you have an understanding of, how you want to say things, what you want to say, all those artistic observations and experiences that come in to make your music. So it's about if you know that it's a bad song for you. But within that bad song, I am pretty sure you will find some elements of usefulness, whether that be a lyrical turn, whether that be an interesting melody, whether that be, some rhyming elements that you've kind of thought, nailed that bit, the rest is rubbish, but that bit was cool. So even bad songs, if you are open to explore why they might be bad, you can extract some really useful parts, bits, thoughts, and experiences from them. So bad songs are useful in many, many ways. So shall we talk through some practical tips and thoughts that might help you pursue writing more bad songs? That sounds so counterintuitive, I know. So I think there's quite a common thought. Many artists say that, they only want to write, well, tell us at least, that they only want to write when they feel inspired. Totally get that. And I understand why that can be kind of the forefront of a lot of artists' minds when it comes to their song creativity. But actually, one thing that might really help with this pursuing of writing more is setting yourself quotas and goals. Maybe it's finish one song every week, every 3 days. Maybe it's writing out a list of some ideas you want to cover once a week. Maybe it's, it could be finding one collaborator that you want to kind of target, realistically, that you want to target every couple of weeks. Whatever it might be, having some sort of goal to, not to force you, but to encourage you quite forcefully to just write is really useful, because then you'll be in the activity of honing your craft of songwriting, really understanding the bits of songwriting, the structure, methodology that suits you, lyrical turns, phrases, dark, light, whatever it might be. That's how you're going to start really investigating and divulging and revealing those elements that are useful to you to become a better songwriter. So quotas, objectives, goals, very, very useful as a practical tip. And of course, if you are taking on this kind of quoted approach, this objective driven approach, then you're going to end up with a bank, a vault of unused ideas and songs or parts of songs. That you might have a great idea but can't write yet a good song that justifies and delivers on that great idea. That's still a great idea though. So again, this process is allowing you to build out a vault of things and elements, bits and pieces that you can come back to when perhaps your craft has evolved, to then be able to write a really good or great song around that idea. So this, again, repetition, volume, as in number of songs you're writing, or the efforts you're making to write a song, very, very useful. I think another tip here, again, this all feeds into the same ethos, is don't self-edit too soon. Just get songs down. Just get the first draft down. Because sometimes as well, even finishing a song, a bad song, we want them, remember, finishing that song, it can actually empower you to know that you can start and finish something. And that really can feed in with breaking any sort of, mindsets of procrastination or avoidance, that sort of thing. Like, don't worry about making every part great. Just get the song done. Just finish it. I think another practical tip, it might seem really obvious, and apologies if it does, but many don't do this, is keep a journal on you or your notes on your phone. A specific note, or sometimes a specific app that you only use for song ideas, and jot them down when you're out. Like actively trying to think of capturing what pops in your head or what you observe when you're on the bus or train or in the car. Well, maybe not in the car, but when you're out and about, you can really start building out a list of these ideas and ever increase that list, and you'll find it becomes an inspiration palette. And again, that will then help encourage you to stick to that first point of a quota of writing or objective within your writing. So allow yourself to have that methodology of capturing just ideas or thoughts. It can be incredibly useful. And actually those ideas, they can often just form prompts. They might be nothing more than a prompt for you to start a songwriting journey or session. So, again, they have multiple levels of usefulness and utility that are really good to be able to dive into when you need to. And I mentioned this earlier about co-writers. I think too few artists, and it's not a criticism, I get why, but too few artists actively explore trying to form co-writes and collaborations. Like, there is a beautiful, rich world of creative people out there, many of whom obviously are operating in music, and artists should be reaching out and just asking if someone else fancies a writing session. It's going to allow you to achieve that first objective of wanting to write a song a week, let's say. It will inject some freshness into your palette of inspiration, to your ideas, to how you think a song should or shouldn't go, if you've got an open mind. And actually, those collaborators, as you build more out, they can be a really good sounding board for, actually, is this song bad? Or, as mentioned earlier, what parts of this song might actually be useful? So they're not bad, they're just drafts, they're just sketches. So really try to kind of actively pursue and swell your creative peers and your collaborative peers, because even when you feel a bit demotivated, which happens to all human, every one of us, we're all human. So if you have a moment of not feeling as motivated, sometimes having that group around you might be asking you as well now, like, do you want to come around for a session? Say yes and get yourself around there, because that can be a real useful way to unlock maybe a slight mindset block at that moment in time. So again, like, hopefully those are good, some useful practical tips that really encourage you to write more songs. Right, that will be bad, but you've got to write the bad out the way to allow space and tool sets and skills and self-awareness for those good and great songs, the rare ones, the great songs, to come through. Off you go and write.